Okay, so guys, this is our next lesson. Today we will be looking at constructor function. All right, constructor function. Now if you can see here clearly, we have our constructor function here, function in JavaScript. We have constructor function, which is our next topic to be there with. Now, so guys, without further ado, please let us dive into this. Now, what do we refer to as constructor function? Constructor function is used to create a multiple object with similar structure. All right, now when we start discussing object, you will get to understand we'll use the function when we are discussing object. All right, now for people who, like I said, this will make more sense to intermediate and some advanced level people. All right, now for constructor function is like in object oriented programming, where we build a object and work with a class, and it make more sense in object oriented programming. All right, I know in further series, in our advanced series, you're going to see the benefit of this function, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't introduce it to you now as beginner. Okay, so guys, please subscribe and let us get into our lesson quickly. Now I will come down to the strip tag here and start to work on this. All right, we said our constructor function is used to create multiple objects with similar structure. Okay, so for here we'll say function, we'll call the keyword function and say pricing. Now for this function here, it is almost like the regular function we will refer to as name function. All right, we'll say name comma age. Now we'll pass in two parameters. Now we come here and open this. We say this dot name. Okay, and then we assign name to it. All right, we close this. We come down and say this dot age, and then we come here and assign age to it. All right, we close this. Now in this function, what we have done here, we said that the function create multiple objects with similar structure. Now we have two objects here, but they all are following the same structure. All right, we have two objects that we are working with, but they are following the same structure. Okay, how can we know that they are following the same structure? We have a regular function here with two parameters in it, with two arguments, a name and that of age, and then we are saying this dot name and this dot age is equal to age and is equal to name. Now we are saying that this is equivalent to this and this is equivalent to this. Now the next area we want to do, we want to pass in value to them. We want to create, for every function, we want to create a single pricing with that same thing. Now the definition of the constructor function comes to light in this next scenario that we're about to write. Now if I come here and start to write const and say pricing 1, okay, and say pricing 1 is equal to new, new pricing. Okay, it's equal to new pricing. All right, new pricing, and in parentheses here now we give John. All right, which is name, and then we'll come here, we say comma, we say his age is what, 30. We get out of it and close it. Good. Now what happened here? All right, I have created our first I have created our first object. I've created our first object. I'll create the first object. I say person 1 is equal to John, and I've given it age. Now I can create person 2, I can create person 3, I can create person 4, person 5. I can create so many names. All right, there's having multiple object. All right, I've created one object, I can create multiple objects using just this. Okay, I can come here and say const pricing 2 is equivalent to new. All right, new pricing parenthesis, and come here and say James. All right, comma, and say James is 25 years old, and close this. Now I've created two different objects using just this. Now if I come down, I say console dot log and open this parenthesis here for it and say pressing 1, all right, dot name. Now pressing 1 dot name. Now what I want you to get here is this. Now where we seeing this the name and this the age, This is where we are expressing it now. All right, person want the name. Okay, this is where we are expressing it now. If I say person want the name is equal to this, now we are saying this dot name is equal to this, and this the age is equal to this. If I say person want dot this is equal to this, and then I can also come in and say console.log and say person2 dot age. All right, now we want person one name and one person to age. All right, one person one name and one person to age. If I come outside and close it, we save this code, and then we open it into the browser and see how best we can find it in console, in our console log. Now if we check our console log, we are seeing John. The age of John is 30, it's not 25. All right, but we have the age of person 2, which is James. James age is here, but John name is here. Okay, now we get back to it. This will make more sense for people that are currently reading object-oriented programming, but I want you to get the basic of it. All right, I want you to get the basic. If I come in and change it to person 1, all right, I'm going to have the age of John and the name. All right, now I have age 30 and I have John name here. Okay, so this is about constructor function. All right, allowing multiple objects with same structure, all right, to run within the function. All right, now these are multiple objects. All right, I can create up to 30-50 different people within this function. All right, because I've already created a function here, and this function here will keep taking things from in this object down here to run them. It will keep taking things from in the new object to run them as it go on and on. All right, so with that being said, pressing 1 again dot age, we save it. All right, we come here, we'll use the pressing 2 and come again, command pressing 2 again age. All right, if I come back to our console log, we refresh it, voila. All right, oh my god, sorry, I have age and age for person 2. all right, person 2, this place should be name. Good. So if I come here and check it out in our browser, voila, we have Jim, we have John age 30, we have James age 25. all right, so this is for constructor function. I hope that we learned something, guys. Do not forget, I said earlier that constructor function is a function that use or create multiple objects with similar structure. Now all of the objects that we are creating, they have similar structure. They have name and age, name and age. All right, all of the people that we are creating, they have name and age, name and age, name and age. Okay, so guys, thank you very much for sticking around, and I hope that we understand this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.